We all are.
Beautiful. There we go. Okay, so to recap a little bit of the last actual session, you guys had visited with, finished the conversation with Baron Rosa, visited with Dimitri, acquired two wolves, timber wolves that transformed into people, named Lapis and Lazuli, to help you out with going to go scope out this location for Grady. The location is going to be where, according to Grady, uh, the sheriff is going to be determined, who is going to replace the previous sheriff, which has now been completely confirmed at this point to be Rachel's father. So there were a few people. I believe it was John, Cami, and Cole that stayed the night at the museum, and then Rachel, Lapis Lazuli, and Corin went back to Corin's condo, if I remember correctly.
Yep, that is indeed what happened.
Okay, so um, you guys passed out. It's now the next day. It is the night that you are going to venture off to the island, uh, which so I guess my initial question is kind of twofold. One, is there any last minute things you want to do before catching the ferry? And do you want to meet at one place or the other between the museum, Corin's place, or the ferry terminal? If you decide to meet at the ferry terminal, we'll assume that Rachel picked everybody up in the van, and then you guys are just there, and that's where we'll pick up.
I think I just want to make sure I grab like daggers and or throwing knives. I'm assuming I have that.
If not, I'm
Uh,
pretty sure she has a fully stocked kitchen.
I
I
don't have
mean,
a fully stocked kitchen. Well, now maybe.
now you probably do. But on the topic of daggers, throwing knives, and other such sundries, especially this late at night in Seattle, those are not hard to obtain. I can tell you from experience, those are not hard to obtain.
Sure, I can make a call and be like, "Hey, sire, please." But yeah.
Now, go ahead and note that you have those for yourself, and we'll call that good.
How many dagger or how many throwing knives are you willing to give me? I'm just gonna take one dagger.
Typically, a set either comes in 5 or 10, depending. At least that I've personally encountered.
Okay, I'm gonna take the 10.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm good.
Best.
No, I'm good.
All right, Curry.
I still have the supply drop, so only thing that was added was the scope for the caliber, 50 caliber.
Yep.
I don't know how many bullets you gave me though. I didn't write that down. It seems.
Hold on. Let me see if I wrote that down. I did not write that down.
Hmm. A standard magazine for 50 caliber holds what? 4, 5?
Man, let me fucking tell you. I The feds are gonna have a field day with my fucking internet search history.
Apparently 10 for a semi-automatic.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. So we'll go with 20.
Okay. Let me put that here in the notes.
Okay. So one last little bit before moving on from the museum specifically. Cole, Lars has a message for you. It is of no like actual consequence or anything like that, but it does seem that he has two major updates for you. One, the recording studio is now fully featured and up and running, and has already gotten the first few reservations coming in, and he denied all of them because they were all grunge bands.
I just smile.
Specifically, he said that if you really want to practice your music, the best acoustics you're going to get for the shit that you sling is the dumpster out back.
Damn.
My man.
Alright. If there are no further what you do's, we'll go ahead and assume you have piled in to the van and are making your way to the ferry.
Yeah.
For Cammy, Cole, and John, however, uh, there is a distinct lack of wolf, but there is not a distinct lack of wet dog smell in the van. But there are two additional passengers, a blonde haired woman and a dark haired man.
I wish I had thought the brass squeak toy. Just to add a little
Oh,
humor
if
to him.
we start picking up strays.
They're the wolves. They can have a humanoid form, apparently.
Dog on my biscuits.
No, thank you.
Are you into biscuits?
I don't fucking know. I just had to watch them eat and it was gross. I feel like I lost brain cells.
I have curiosities.
You can ask the ghoul. They weren't happy either.
All right. So when you get to the ferry terminal, the ferry is there, ready and waiting. It is a smaller one of the ferries, not the big, um, the super big commercial one with the cars. It is one of the smaller ones that is intended for specifically foot traffic. And it's all lit up and looks like it's ready to go. Additionally, let's see. I'm gonna have Tammy do a thing. I'm gonna have Cammy roll Animalkin with. None of these actually really make all that much sense. Let's go with the wits. Sweet Jesus. Okay. In addition to the zero amount of actual foot traffic that are on here, it's literally just for you guys. Uh, there is a lot of seagulls that are just kind of hanging out on the thing. As it is a multi level ferry, you can not just count with your eyes, but feel that there's probably about anywhere from 120 to 160 seagulls just chilling on this thing. All of them are staring at you as much as they possibly can, assuming that they have line of sight to you.
Me specifically, or just all of us?
You specifically. And so as you're actually entering, for example, you will definitely pass a couple, but there'll be a situation where a seagull is sitting on the walkway or whatever, and you'll pass like a pole or something, and it will actively, like, while it's following you, when you go behind the pole, it will crane its head to keep looking at you, but it doesn't like move around too much other than that. So once you like actually enter the structure of it and therefore completely break line of sight, it doesn't like move to follow you or anything like that. They're definitely like standing guard, as it were. But I can absolutely assure you, nowhere on this ferry do you feel like there is not a seagull looking at you.
It's not terrifying.
Should I go talk to them?
Did the rest of us notice the absurdly large amount of seagulls?
You can if you roll a similar thing with animal ken and wits.
I can roll
I'm
that.
gonna ignore it.
So, just as a base level, you guys do notice that there happens to be an amount of seagulls here. And for Cole specifically, yes, you do notice that there is an obscene amount of seagulls. For anybody who, so like Corin is just like, huh, seagulls, neat. We like those things.
They're
Whereas
around.
Cole, right, yeah, whereas Cole and Cammy are probably more experiencing like in like proportion to it, more of like an existential crisis of, oh shit, they're fucking everywhere. Much more keenly aware of their presence.
Hammy?
Yeah.
What the fuck, mate?
Uh, I don't know. Just serious Hitchcock vibes at the moment.
Uh,
There's enough squab out there for several chicken dinners.
there we go. Couldn't find animal kin. Nice. Which is hilarious.
So John's in more of a situation of, what the fuck are seagulls?
Yo.
This is coming from the person that's a gangrel. Gangrel. God fucking hell, like everything. Which is hilarious.
It's fine. One's British, the other's American. It's fine. Okay, so
Okay.
what would you like to do about this situation?
Ooh, can I go first?
Sure.
Since I noticed absolutely nothing, I hand what's her name? Here's her name again? Corn? No.
Yes.
Corn. I hand Corn the ink blot plushie with the note still attached to it.
Fuck is this? What is the plushie in?
It's an ink blot plushie, and I think he said that, like, you know who to give this to.
Ink blot? Plushie?
Fucking, let me scroll the fuck back up.
It was in the packages that you gave me at the end of the last session.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the date was, and I scrolled up, and it's,
What is an ink blot plushie?
oh my god, I scrolled up a little bit too. I don't actually know if it's too far now that I think about it, but the fucking tweet it with the chick showed a can of Monster up her ass.
What?
Every time I see it, fucking breaks me.
Shaw sent us a Twitter of a woman trying to get sponsored by Monster by shoving one of the very large Monster cans directly in her poop chute.
That's not a great way to get sponsored.
It's a great way to stand out.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Like, I guarantee you, anyone at the Monster Company that saw that will remember that for the rest of their lives. Especially if it's the first time they saw it.
My dude, when the fuck did I send you this?
Hold on. Last session, so I can kind of find it. The date. Content.
Okay, the Monster thing was like a month ago, so it was well before that.
Yeah, the 4th.
The 4th of.
November.
Okay, because I was looking in September and. All I said to you on the 4th of November was you coming to Vampire and you saying slept through alarm.
So you
Yeah.
probably said this
You
like
physically told me this and I put it down in my
physically?
notes.
Verbally?
Yeah.
Verbally?
Well,
I wrote down the
Okay.
notes because everything you gave me that day were the blood pellets, the ink blot plushies, with the note attached, you know who to give this to, and medical supplies
Okay.
tailored to vampires.
That's what was throwing me off is that I thought that it was a longer fucking note than that. And I was trying to figure out if it said anything the fuck else. Anyway, the Inkblot plushie is a like Shiori's mascot?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, where it's just like a little blob of ink.
Ink blob. Okay, I keep hearing ink plot and
Blot.
Blot.
I was like, what the fuck is a ink plot?
An ink blot with a BLOT is what I said specific before. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a little fucking ink blob.
The Rorschach tests are ink blots.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's why I was confused. I was like, what? What does the note say?
And so that's the reason why I called it an ink blot plushie is because it is kind of like Rorschach the character, where the ink blot on his face changes.
Yeah.
So the ink kind of like swirls around and changes. Uh, you're not exactly sure how it does it because it's a plushie, but it do.
It's so cute. And it's a regular plush. It doesn't look like it's sentient in any way.
That you're aware of currently.
Can I roll to check?
Yeah, probably.
What do I roll?
Probably dice?
Well, yeah, usually. Insight and intelligence.
Insight. One success.
As you stare deep into its eyes, you're not 100% sure if you see thought or personification.
Cool. Do I know who it came from? I'm assuming it's Liliana.
Yes.
Okay.
That may be
Cool.
slightly obvious.
Nah, who could. Stuff with ink?
Stuff with
No.
ink could be anyone.
It's clearly. I don't know, fucking Joe Biden or some shit. I don't know. I haven't even decided if that guy's still alive or not.
Okay.
God damn it!
Thanks.
I should really stop drinking water during these sessions. I nearly.
Thank you for the plushie. Don't know how you got it, but thanks.
Like, I don't know how I got it.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, that does seem to be her MO.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's up next? Cool. Sounds like Cammy volunteered.
All right. So are we inside, or is like a passenger area closed off, and there's
The like inside passenger area is open for you to go into, but you guys are definitely on the ferry now.
okay,
And I am also going to be casting it off because you're all on it now. So assume that you are now in the open water.
okay, but we're still outside on the boat.
Yeah, outer
Uh,
deck. Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna go over and talk to some seagulls.
Okay.
Mostly just starting with, what's going on?
All right. You hear inside of your skull. 151st Division reporting for duty, ma'am.
Okay. Who's your commanding officer?
Currently, you, ma'am.
Do you have a particular specialty in your division?
Well, okay. So, and it lifts up its wing and points a couple of seagulls down to a seagull that's kind of got his head like cocked to the right just a little bit, right? That guy, he's Larry. He eats real good. The rest of us, we eat slightly less good than he does, but still really good. We can also fly and poop.
All right.
Appreciate their honesty.
Thank you for your service.
All of the visible seagulls to you salute.
All right, I'm gonna walk back over to the rest of the group.
They have not dropped salute.
Why the fuck are they saluting? They're seagull.
I'm just gonna shrug.
Do I
No,
know
you
this
don't.
is happening?
Even with your terrible previous roles at this point, yeah, you definitely have noticed that there is a whole ass platoon of seagulls saluting at Gamey.
What about me? Because it's
No,
potential
you're
beastal.
Why are they? This is not normal behavior for seagulls. Why are they? Are they saluting mid-flight? Like, what's happening, Shaw?
No,
Are they just?
they're all standing there. Nobody's in flight.
They're just standing on the boat with us.
Yep.
Maybe you should tell them to stop saluting.
So you know the "fuck it, I guess" meme?
Yeah.
That is Cole as he walks inside.
All right, I'll say at ease, and then also head inside.
I'll just wave at the seagulls as I also head inside.
They all drop salute, and as you guys are entering inside, they stop the constant eye contact, and they're just kind of like hanging out. They look like they chitter at each other in a way that looks like they're holding conversation. But as Cammy is the only one who can actually even moderately understand them, although understanding is probably a strong word in this situation, they're really just saying random words that kind of more or less mimic what human conversation would be like. like a bunch of businessmen standing around, shaking each other's hands, congratulating each other on good business, and nodding and smiling. That's basically what they're doing. It's kind of nothing.
Oh man.
So, upon getting inside, Lapis and Lazuli had already made their way in, and they're currently raiding the very small little. It's like borderline a stall for the convenience food that's in there. Otherwise, it's pretty much empty. For context, Rachel had fucked off to the. God, my brain died right there. The place where they steer the fucking ship, the bridge,
bridge.
Bridge.
um, and to let them know that you guys are all on and to go ahead and proceed. But you don't see her in this area currently.
Wait, what are the humanoid wolves doing?
The what?
The wolves.
Oh, they're raiding the little convenience area where the food is, where you would normally be able to purchase like a couple of snacks or whatever.
I'm not paying for this, am I?
Not that you know of.
I just stare at them in sadness and disgust.
The male looks back at you as they have a hot dog and they slowly slurp the entire thing and just swallow. There was no chewing,
That is
making
disgusting.
eye contact with you the entire time.
You're disgusting.
I
Between
see
that,
what you mean.
He farts.
Yep.
between that and the dog thing, I think they're probably real popular on the internet.
You know what? Maybe they are. Why does it look like you two have never eaten? What the fuck? Do you not get fed?
I mean, they spend so much time as wolves, they probably get fed kibble. They're getting table scraps now.
Don't know if that's the case. I'm just gonna go find Rachel because I'm not gonna watch this fucking mess.
Oh, it's definitely a mess.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long because as you're going up the stairs to the bridge, she's coming down the stairs from the bridge.
I look at her. I'm like, unless you want to see the wolves eat, turn back around.
She stops, thinks for a second, and turns right back around.
Smart move. And then follow her.
All right, so Cole and Cammy and John, what are you guys doing?
So, do you think when that inevitably comes out, if they're in wolf form, does it come out as wolf-sized turds or human-sized turds?
What the fuck region of Europe did you just convert into?
Great
I have
question.
no idea.
Okay, moving on.
Oh shit.
All right.
I just look up at him.
At
And
this
then-
point, one of the seagulls struggles really fucking hard and eventually just kind of pops in from outside. It was trying to open one of the doors and is like just strong enough to like pull it open so that it could kind of shove its body through the thing, and it closed the door on itself because of the weight of the door. And it waddles up to Cammy and salutes. Um, it begins to speak to Cammy. For Cole and John, it just sounds like it's squawking. You can't really, like, not even rhythmically. It just sounds pretty fucking random. To Cammy specifically, though, it says, by the way, I forgot to inform you, but the other half of the platoon is already on the island, so we'll be meeting up with them when we get there, and we can help you do some reconnaissance.
Where did you guys hear that's where we were going?
The one with the phone. She messaged the animal guy.
Oh,
She called him Beast Boy.
gotcha. All right then. Thank you very much. Gonna let Paul and John know that there's already some preliminary scouting being done.
I'm glaring at the seagull.
Since the seagull is already saluting and notices you glare at the seagull at him, he salutes with the other wing as well.
Why was life so much better before I knew magic was a thing?
Was it really better?
You know, that's a statement to live by, honestly. Anyway, is there anything else you guys would like to do before we get to the island? Converse about anything of that nature.
I'm good.
Corin?
Um, hmm. Do I notice, is like Rachel doing anything in particular? Like, does she seem anxious or?
Uh, there is a bit of a look of concern, but it's not like she doesn't seem overly anxious or stressed out or anything like that. She's mostly just kind of like looking out the windows, like uh, going to one side, staring off into the distance, walking to the other side, staring off into the distance, that kind of thing.
Okay. I don't. I won't say anything. I'll just keep like looking towards wherever our goal is.
Okay. John.
I'm just here taking account of my supplies.
Okay. Cole, you said you're good.
Yes.
Oh, question.
Yeah.
Would
What's up?
we have all eaten or like had a meal prior to this?
Yeah. That is assumed you took care of it.
Okay.
All right, and Cammy.
Feel like I ought to talk to Lapis and Lazuli more, but I don't think I'm gonna get any more out of them than I did when they were dogs.
I mean, you can always try.
Nah, I think I'll pass.
Okay.
Actually, I will just like stand somewhat near them and mumble, you guys are much easier to talk to when you're in dog form. and I'll leave it at that.
Okay. So they kind of both look at you, and Lapis is like, "Yeah, we get that a lot," and then goes back to just chowing down on all the prepackaged donuts. Mind you, they're not opening the package. It's also not paper; it's plastic. They're just eating it.
I don't think any of us expected differently.
I don't think so either, but I feel like I would be, doing a disservice without explaining.
Yeah.
All right. So, since we've covered all of that, we'll go ahead and fast forward, assuming that you guys are just going to hang out for the remainder of the trip, and we'll go on to the actual island. So, when you get there to dock, upon venturing outside and onto the actual dock, there is definitely an additional number of seagull on the dock area, and there are definitely a whole bunch that are flying around that you can see, and like to the point where the farther inland you look, you still see seagulls fluttering around even on the horizon. So like, there's a lot of fucking seagulls here, and all the seagulls on the ferry, uh, not single file, but like in three rows, each single file, I suppose. I don't have a better way to put that. They all kind of like filter off of the boat onto the mainland. It is odd to think about a flying animal marching, but that's what they're doing. But because they're so orderly, it doesn't take them very long to do that. The same seagull that was double saluting at you um, stops in front of you guys and says to Cammy, "All right, so now that we're here, we have reconvened with the other half of the platoon. So, what is it that you want us to look out for?" And we'll get started on that.
I mean, I honestly don't even know what we are looking for here. Uh, we're supposed to just be like checking for ambush possibilities. Is that right?
So Rachel pipes in and says that what you guys are supposed to be doing is going to the location, the park.
Shot, aren't Rachel and I up at the bridge?
You're off the boat now. Deal with that.
Okay.
Let me see. Okay, so there is a park that's a little bit south of you. I seem to have completely forgotten to call it anything other than the ceremony site instead of the actual name of the fucking park, like a dumbass. But it is a park that's about a 10-minute walk south of you guys. The According to what Rachel got from Grady as the request, is that you're supposed to check it and the surrounding area, so basically the entire park all the way down to the beach that it is attached to, and make sure that there isn't anything set up that might be from some of the other barons as like an ambush point kind of deal.
Okay, so it wasn't too far off.
No.
All right, I will do my best to explain to seagulls that we are trying to look out for any spots where uh, other kindred might attack from.
He salutes and then proceeds off, starts squawking very loudly at the assembled seagulls, and they all squawk in unison and fly off in the direction of the park.
How, like, is it an amount of seagulls where it would be obvious to other kindreds that something is up?
Oh fuck
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh god.
We're talking like around 400 fucking seagulls coalescing flying around this park. It is not subtle in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, cool. You're like, oh, you probably should have been a little bit more discreet. It's fine.
Look, I didn't plan for this.
It's
I'm
also like roughly about 10 o'clock at night at this point because of the amount of time it takes to get to the ferry and then the ferry to cross, all things considered. So like people are trying to go to sleep now as well, and seagulls aren't like large groupings of seagulls aren't exactly quiet either.
I I really do hate to say this, but I'm just winging this.
Unfortunate for us. Survive it somehow.
Okay, so venturing down to the park.
Yup. Um, how, what are the wolves doing?
Following you guys.
Fair enough.
Effectively, for the way this is going to go, by the way, since Cole specifically was the one who was having conversation with Dimitri, effectively, Cole is in charge of them. However, they will listen to all of your orders as long as they do not conflict. But in terms of a tie, whatever Cole decides, that's what they're going to go with.
Okay.
So to break that down even more simple, just so we're perfectly clear, if Cammy was to say to Lapis and Lazuli to go left, and Corin was to say no, go right, Cole would then have to step in and be like, actually go left, and they would go left.
Okay.
So upon reaching the park, the it's relatively large. It's the park itself is about the size of two football fields end on end. One side is the street, the other side is the beach. It is mostly open air. There is a bit of forestation within it, so you can definitely hide in the trees if you wanted to, but it's not like a dense forest. You can still see somewhat through the trees, but there's definitely enough trees there that you could hide. There's a few buildings like a restroom and a small communal area kind of deal, but primarily the actual site of where the ceremony would take place is there is a small circular, like kind of stage like area type deal in the center of the park, and there's some specific flat ground around it that's about 100-ish feet in diameter. Other than that, it's green grass and some trees. Also, specifically about the location, before I forget, because this is going to be relevant later, is that there is enough trees around that it does uh, form like a little bit of like a circle around. So when you're standing on the stage, basically anywhere you look, you can find a tree.
Okay. Are there people, are there other kindred there already for this ceremony?
None that you can currently tell. The ceremony isn't actually supposed to happen tonight. It's supposed to happen tomorrow night. You are doing a pre-investigation of this area to make sure that it isn't set up before the ceremony is to begin tomorrow.
Okay.
Are there any ghouls about setting things up or any of that? Is there any like people working?
Outwardly, you cannot tell, without further investigation, you cannot tell, or rather, it's both that you can't tell, nor do you see any evidence of anybody other than you guys. So the four of you, Lapis Lazuli and Rachel, seem to be the only humanoids or dogoids that are in this area other than the seagulls.
Are Lapis and Lazuli, I think I missed it. Are they in dog form or human form right now?
You didn't miss it because I haven't confirmed that yet. They are still currently in human form, as they have not received orders to go into dog form and begin the investigation. Once they receive the orders to begin the investigation, that's when they'll turn into dog form and go a sniffing.
Lapis, Lazuli.
They look at you.
Time to get to work, children.
They nod, transform, their clothes fall on the ground, and they start bounding off into the trees. Specifically, Lazuli finds a stick. Lapis growls at him. He drops the stick, and then they run off into the trees.
I think I might actually like those dogs.
They're wolves.
Dogs, wolves, whatever.
They make the distinction.
I'm still going to call them dogs. One of them picked up a stick. I wouldn't be surprised if we couldn't play fetch with them.
Fair enough.
I am going to go over and grab their clothes and fold it up. Is there a bench close to where we are right now?
Yeah, there's several.
All right, I'm going to fold up their clothes, put it on the bench.
Rachel points over to the where the community building and the bathrooms are, and says that she's going to go check over there, see if she can't find anything. Turns on the phone, or her phone flashlight, and ventures over there.
All right. So we've got the entire park to check out. John, how good are you with that pea shooter you've been carrying around?
The 50 cal.
Yeah.
I just respond with the hand gesture of where you move your hand like kind of side to side.
Yeah. Like, yeah. No, I get it. Find someplace high up that you can scope out and get a bird's eye view of what's going on. More so than the birds already have a bird's eye view.
I was gonna say I'm looking up all around at the seagulls flying. Do I notice them yet?
Animal Kingdom wits.
Cute
He
Huh?
misses them this
little
time. I'm
collar.
pointing at one of them. Those are seagulls. They're fucking everywhere.
You get a +2.
I roll.
We'll assume you got 2 more successes for that.
Alright.
Yes, there are several.
I flinch and like, where the fuck did they all come from?
They've been there.
Schrodinger's goal.
So the daily, no, it's not the Daily Show, it's the other one. The oh god, what is it? The sister channel or sister show to the Daily Show. The other news guy.
You're asking the
Colbert
wrong
Report?
person.
Oh yeah, the Colbert Report, where Colbert like face palms and he's got like 4 hands. That's
Oh.
me right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Alright. I guess I look around. Is there any place in this park that's supposedly high? Like, what's the tallest point that I can see?
Oh, I was gonna say about 3 hours ago, probably down by the beach. Um, but yeah, there are definitely more than enough trees that you could climb relatively easily that are looking between 80 and 100 feet off the ground at the top, safely at the top because you're big, huge. Somebody like Corin could probably go up another 20 feet, but you probably not.
Oh yeah, I have cat's grace.
Also, you're tiny in comparison to John.
That too.
Let's see. Like,
Everybody
I,
else
I, I
up.
take the boat back to the shore for the highest point. No, I guess like how. My only concern is like I need kind of a platform if I'm gonna be looking around with the scope. Actually, I could just look around with the scope since it's not currently attached.
I mean, even if it was, those are pretty easy to detach.
Yeah, because right now everything's still in the case.
Yeah.
All right.
And the whole thing uses a rail system, so
Yeah.
you're basically just sliding it on and off.
So I guess I find a tall tree and start scampering up.
Right? Since this is definitely this is going to be more of a strength thing for you.
Right? This literally put all my fingers into the bark for grip.
Yeah. Actually, specifically for that, I'm not going to go with athletics. I'm going to call this a melee with strength.
Let's see. Melee. I punched a tree. We in Minecraft now.
Yeah, basically. All right, that's not too bad. So it takes you a little bit longer than you originally expected. If you were still human, you'd absolutely be out of breath by the time you get up there. But you get up there relatively okay, and you haven't completely fucked over the tree. You definitely broke some branches on the way up, though. It was loud too, but
Yeah, and I guess I like take the scope out and look around. See,
okay.
see if I see anything.
I'm gonna have you do one more thing, though. Let's go with survival and resolve, considering the situation you're in.
Let's see where. Subterfuge. Survival. There we go. And you said resolve.
Okay. From your uh, bird's eye view, as it were, when you're looking around below you, there are certain sections where, like in between trees, where it seems like a little bit darker than normal than other similar sections in between trees. And it's a little difficult to make out since you're so much higher up, but it does feel a little strange to you.
All right. Can I focus in on it?
Yeah, you're gonna have to roll again though.
All right. Survival resolve.
Yes.
All right. Bestial failure.
Yo,
fine.
what the fuck?
Okay, cool. So as you are focusing in on those particular areas, it's definitely becoming a lot more familiar in that you kind of remind yourself a little bit of previous darkness encounters.
Ah, got it.
All right.
Like, honestly, don't know what I'm gonna do with that information because they're pretty much chaos incarnate. Whereas, like, what are you, a friend of me?
Yeah. Okay. So while you're thinking about what you're gonna do next, we'll go ahead and move on. Let's go with okay. Of the rest of you, who wants to volunteer to go next first?
I just
Mm.
planned on asking if anybody else had somewhere they wanted to search.
Cool. Doing my job for me.
Could you describe the area again, Shaw?
So the area where you guys are currently is like that stage area that I was talking about, where there seems to be like like it's a raised platform. Jesus. Anyway, raised platform, and then about a 100-foot diameter of an area, giant circle where there just isn't any trees. It's just kind of like flat grass, right? And that's when the tree line starts. Additionally, there is a couple of buildings. One's a common area. Another one is a bathroom, and then there's another building that you're not 100% sure what it is. In addition to that, there's some benches around, some pathways. There's a beach on one side and the road that you guys came in from on the other. And the whole thing is roughly about 2 football fields long.
That's a big place. Jesus.
Long ways specifically.
Yeah. Mm, can I activate heightened senses?
Yeah.
Do I have to roll anything for that, or it just happens?
There's the wrong person.
Why did it say cannot read properties of undefined?
There's heightened sensors. I don't know why it said that.
Yeah, it's not letting me post it to chat.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh well, I can look at it from mine. Okay, so normally the cost is free. Um, let's see. Okay, so your it's free unless some like super overpowering shit also occurs.
Okay, I will activate heightened senses, and then I want to check the common area, I think is what you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the common area is one of the buildings. That's over by where Rachel went off to go check too.
Okay.
So you will likely run into her.
Sounds good. Turn to the person. I'm gonna go to that building. And then just
Uh,
start walking off.
If you run into Rachel, stick together.
Okay.
On your way over there, you also notice that like some of the areas in the trees are a little bit darker than normal, like more so than you noticed when you first got here. But the common area itself um, isn't like it doesn't really have that kind of feel to it once you like actually get inside the building, of which all the doors you check are unlocked
That's not normal.
to get into the main part of the building. It turns into like a gymnasium kind of deal, and there isn't any other like that specific building is basically just a gym. And there is like when you go exploring through it, you'll find a door that leads to like the equipment room, so that'll have like all your various sports ball equipment and like chairs and tables and stuff like that just kind of stacked in there. And that is really the only other room inside this entire thing other than like the maintenance slash utility room that deals with all of like the water piping and the electricity and shit like that. The main facilities are the other building that seems nondescript and the bathrooms.
Do I hear or see anything that might be out of place?
Not while you're inside the building. No, everything seems pretty normal for a uh, you know freshly put back uh, the equipment kind of area like this.
And so, since I don't see anything out of place in there, can I go back outside? And you mentioned the like trees that appear a little bit darker.
Yeah.
Do they have like a magical kind of like sense to them, kind of like how Liliana had ink all over my fucking condo.
If you were capable of generating goosebumps, you would have goosebumps.
Ooh, I have premonition.
Yes, you do.
Okay, do I have to roll for that?
Let's see here. So it depends. It's up to me. So it's based off of what you want to remember. I don't know what the singular for premonition would be. Anyway, it depends. What are you asking for?
Does it feel like familiar magic? Granted, the only magic I've probably experienced is Liliana's and La Rosa. I'm assuming hers was magic shit.
I will grant you for free that it feels similar to something you felt before. It is familiar.
Hmm.
If you want more details, you're going to have to roll resolve with your aspects.
I'm gonna, yeah, I'll roll. Uh, can I click the dice that says roll rouse check from premonition? Or no? Do I just do regular?
Uh,
Oh, uh, oh, I might have to just roll it from the premonition thing. I did not click that, but
I did.
okay. How do I
That was just rousing to be able to do it. So right, yeah. So that's your
resolve? Outspets. You said resolve and outspets, right?
yes.
2 successes, and I'm gonna have to roll a rouse check, right?
I already did it for you on accident, so we'll just go with that.
Okay. I have 2
Okay.
successes, whatever that means to you.
This is much more familiar to you in one instance versus the other. You are more familiar with this style of supernatural trait. It is closer to home.
Oh. Mm. That is either my sire or Liliana. Mm. I'm gonna go look for Rachel. If you want to switch to someone else while I gather my thoughts.
Yep, that's what I was going to do. So, Cole or Cammy, which one do you want to go first?
I'll go.
Okay. Cammy, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go check out the beach.
Okay. The beach is exactly how you think it is, how you're extremely familiar with. It is not the prettiest of beaches. It is quite literally broken down stone meeting the water.
Nothing unusual.
I mean, there's some driftwood down there that looks, if you look at it from a certain direction, kind of looks like a zombie kind of deal. But without further investigation, there isn't anything outwardly strange about the beach.
Okay. I'm not really the outdoorsy type, so I don't really know what I'm looking for anyway.
That's fair. So you're going to turn back?
Um, are there any seagulls nearby where I'm at right now?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
several.
All right. I'm gonna ask any of them if there's anything weird about the beach.
One of them flutters over to you and says, "Well, Larry was pecking at this rock earlier. I think he thought it was a crab, but it was just a weirdly shaped rock. Um, but I one of the other guys over there found a deck of playing cards. It was kind of strange. Must have got left here or something, but it was like buried in the ground. Other than that, like there have been some like dark patches that like it just got really dark for some reason and then it passed over. Other than that, not really.
Do I see any of the dark patches down here?
Yeah, around some of the bigger rocks that are permeating through, like, there's probably like a decently sized rock, about like 5 feet tall, out of the ground. Probably about every 20, 30 ish feet. They're not in a pattern or anything like that, they're kind of scattered around. But the shadows that they cast from the moonlight are darker than they should be.
Okay. With that, I'll start heading back to see if I can meet up with other people.
Okay. And because you are aware of the shadows being darker, when you're walking back and you're looking at, like, just kind of looking where you're going, some of the trees, in between the trees, some of the shadows there are darker than some of the other trees that should have the same level of darkness.
Okay.
But nothing stops you from getting back to the center of the center stage, as it were. All right, so we'll go back to Cole.
Um, I'm gonna start just wandering the ring of the edge of the trees. Um, kind of whistling to myself and seeing if any thing strange happens. Just because I am from Europe and Europe has a lot of weird fey creatures that they like to tell stories about. I am trying to entice any of that kind of ilk to come out if they're there.
Okay.
Since now I know magic is real, I'm just like, well, you know what? Maybe some of those folklores weren't wrong.
Be surprised. Okay. Considering what you're specifically looking out for, performance and intelligence. Not bad. So to start off with, you have a pretty normal echo, but there's no response. In that you notice that nothing else other than your compatriots is making noise. So, like, you can hear the seagulls, you can hear the rest of your party, you can even hear the wolves sniffing around. That's it. Additionally, the shadows that I've been mentioning to everybody else, you're obviously becoming aware of them as well, since you are actively looking for things going on here, right? And trying to elicit some kind of response. As you are circling the entire area, I am making an assumption that you're keeping relatively normal walking speed, right?
Yeah, no, I'm
Right.
just strolling.
Cool. So let's say you start at 12 o'clock. Everything seems relatively normal, other than the aforementioned lack of other noise. Once you hit about 3 o'clock, that's when you are starting to notice that some of the trees have shadows cast that are a bit too dark. Once you hit 6 o'clock, that a bit too dark is that's too dark. By the time you hit 9 o'clock, the even looking back to some of the area that you've already passed by, there are more shadows that are like that. And by the time you get back to 12 o'clock, it feels like almost every shadow in the entire area cast by the moonlight is darker than it should be at various degrees. And on that note, my molars are flooding, so we're going to take a 10-minute break.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, be back. That's 36. All right, I'll be right back. I meant to grab a snack, but I blame Tucker for distracting me because he was adorable. If you did not know, cats delete my object permanents.
That's fine.
Okay, so getting back into it. We left off with Cole discovering the creeping in of the cold, dark abyss. How do you react to that?
My assumption is that we have an inky friend. And I'm just going to have a conversation with her like she's there. I don't know if she's there, but I'm just going to start talking to her like she's there.
Okay.
Fuck, now I have to remember her name. God damn it.
Liliana.
Liliana.
It's Liliana.
Hi, Liliana. I assume you are here for much the same reason we are. If you're planning something, we could just look the other way. But we'd have to know where to look away from, so maybe a conversation, albeit a shadowy one, might not be a bad idea.
What direction are you looking in?
I have my back to the tree line. So like I'm standing in the tree line with my back to it and I'm looking out at the open space.
Okay. Um, Next question: Are you so for cardinal directions? To the north, there are no buildings. To the south, there are buildings. To the west, there is the road or the street, and to the east, there is the beach. What cardinal direction are you standing at? Facing inwards.
Probably so wherever I started. So wherever 12 o'clock was for us, let's say so we came in from the beach, so I would have started from there. So I would be with my back to the beach, staring in from the beach that way, like straight across.
Okay. Directly across from you, the road, there is a figure who seems to be wearing a hoodie and some kind of, you're not 100% sure if they're slacks or jeans, is walking towards the center from the road.
I will start walking towards.
All right. You are, assuming normal gait, you're going to be walking towards them. The distance that it covers, you guys are basically going to meet in the middle. Is there a certain point in which you would like to stop? Preemptively.
No.
So you're going to play chicken?
Yeah.
Okay. They stop at the edge of the, not the edge of the tree line, but in a little bit more, about halfway between the tree line and the their side of the center stage.
So we just passed each other and kept going.
No, other way around. From their direction, because the tree line, I'm assuming,
Okay.
is another circle,
So
right?
so when they stop, I stop.
Okay. So you're roughly in the same position on your side of the center stage. You are in the east, they are in the west. I should have thought about having an actual diagram for this, but yeah. It's not like I totally didn't have an extra 2 weeks to set that up and completely forgot about it.
When I move, you move.
Well, now I have that song stuck in my head. Thanks for that, asshole. Okay. What are you gonna do? Because they're not doing anything except for staying there. They do seem to be looking directly at you.
I give a bow.
A kind of gravelly, kind of temperature cold male voice says, "You know, a few weeks ago, I think I'd have liked seeing you bow before me. But soon enough, you're either going to be dead or forced to bow."
Oh, you are not who I expected. I like your gumption, though.
They pull out a. Why did my brain stop again? A knife. You can tell from your perspective, it's a switchblade. It just kind of pops out, right? About 4 or 5 inches long. Yeah, well, listen, he's not exactly a big dude. And you know what they say about proportions? They suck. And he continues to walk directly towards you, and it looks like he's wiping the blade on his hoodie sleeve.
Oh, look, friend, I am not here for violence. Well, not against you.
Oh, but I am.
What about a bigger target? There's always bigger fish. I'm a small fish. This isn't even my pond.
No, you're right. It's going to be mine.
I am okay with that.
He increases his walking speed. He's now about halfway across the center stage. Kimmy, about this time is when you're back into the area, at least on the tree line. And for John specifically, you can definitely see this.
All right.
It's up to you whether or not you're looking, but you definitely be able to see what's going on.
I would like to use enticement. Or
I
entrancement.
would have liked to know what the previous thing you said was.
I Misread
Enticement?
entrancement to enticement.
He would like to entice you, Shaw?
I think I did that for you. Did you click that?
No, I didn't click that.
Okay, I did. I'm trying to click it open. I can't fucking read it.
The vampire focuses their unnatural lure on a single target, instilling in them a rapt fascination or infatuation akin to falling head over heels in love or meeting one's lifelong idol. The person affected does their best to remain in the vampire's good graces, but stops short of causing themselves or other loved ones physical harm.
Huh. Neat. I'm gonna have to pull up the book for this. Give me just a second. Actually, while we're doing this, let's go with Cammy and then John. Of what are you doing?
So, seeing a guy with a switchblade out, stalking towards Cole, right?
Yes.
Um, am I being observed?
It doesn't feel like you are.
Okay. Then I'm gonna activate Unseen Passage. Uh, go invisible while I move, and see if I can hopefully get closer. And also, in the process, not try to be between John and this mysterious person, since that's a big gun. So that would be a rouse check.
It is also going to be a rouse check from Cole too to activate entrancement.
Woo!
Does that mean he doesn't succeed?
No, he still does. It's just his hunger goes up by one.
Yep.
Okay, so Cammy's yours goes off. So that's fine. Is there anything else you want to do before I switch over to John?
No.
Okay, John, what's up?
I activate Eyes of the Beast and look around more for like darker splotches that I basically can't see through. Because I assume if it's a quote unquote being, even if it is darkness, it's their body. So
Right.
that's how I would identify them.
So you don't necessarily see body, but you do see strands. It almost like a magical spider web in between the trees that are darker than the others, or the tree shadows that are darker than the others.
And I see him with a knife, right? I'm still in a tree, and I'm pretty sure even if I am a vampire, I'm not sure how good I am at putting together a fucking gun while holding onto a tree with my legs.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have seen I have seen someone successfully surf on rope down a sand whirlwind and survive. So honestly, I'm not too opposed to the idea that you assembled the gun and then strapped it to your back before you climbed the tree in the first place.
All right. At that point, I guess I would be like, oh, all right. I put the scope on and take aim at the knife in the hand.
Okay. Are you going to hold for some kind of signal, or are you going to go ahead and take the shot?
I'm gonna wait to see if he takes another step towards Cole.
Okay.
That will kind of be my trigger.
Cool. So then from Cole, what I need you to do is roll presence and charisma. And then I'm going to counter roll with composure and wits.
Five successes, messy critical, possible bestial failure.
Oh, fuck you. Okay, so wow.
It's a lot.
That is a lot to take in right there.
Not just that, but so I haven't revealed any of the roles that I've had for stuff going against you the entire campaign, right? This is the one time I'm gonna break that silence. Um, I got 2 successes
Mm-hmm.
and 6 bestial failures.
Holy shit.
He
Ow.
failed hard because his dice pool is huge for composure and wits. He has a 4 in both. I don't understand how the fuck. God, that was bad. Okay, anyway, that means that he fucking failed. Like, real hard. Like, impressively fucking hard. So, what is thy bidding, my master? Now, I do want to clarify, though, by the way, that your comrades aren't exactly loved ones. So the effect, like, while is residual onto the rest of them, the rest of the coterie, it's not as perfect as it would be in a situation like, um, if like you and John were a couple, they would basically treat John with the same level of entrancement as to you, but to everybody else, it would be like a slightly lesser version of that.
Yeah.
So just so we're clear, like he can be pushed to a point where they will still attack the other targets. But the thing is that the duration is 1 hour plus per point of margin, of which the margin was large. So basically, the rest of the night. So unless something breaks the entrancement, you have fully entranced this person.
How about you put the knife away?
The knife is immediately, like, you don't even finish saying the words before it's back in the pocket and the hands up, showing that it's gone.
I put a hand up in the air to kind of like wave off anyone that is like possibly got my back.
At least putting them on standby.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I guess with that, I slide it back to my back for now and look down, see if I notice any changes in the darkness.
Similar to before.
Okay.
You are part of the Moani, right?
What? No.
Oh. Hmm. So who are you?
He pulls the hood off, and you recognize this ghoul from the museum. Like, my name's Jack. I'm just here to distract you until Grady gets to you.
Oh, really now? That's interesting. I like this. Huh. What a clever ploy. So where are your friends?
Uh, well, the only one I can see right now is about 20 feet behind you.
You should probably call them off.
Yeah, probably. And he like starts waving profusely. It doesn't really look like it's doing anything. He's just waving his hands above his head and like giving the stop it signal with his hand. But the way he does it, it kind of looks like kill instead of stop. Cut it out. Like he's doing it so fervently, it's kind of hard to tell what sign he's actually doing.
Oh God.
You also start to hear a couple footsteps approaching rapidly.
We're going to have to do this the hard way, aren't we?
Hard way, what?
Cool. What does Grady want?
Uh, like with you, or like just in general?
Specifically right now, he
Uh,
wants us out of the way, correct?
yeah, he wants you dead.
Great. That part's obvious. What is his long-term goal?
To kill the prince and take over?
How pedestrian.
He's a Nosferatu. What do you expect?
Ambition. Goals.
That's
That is
cool.
pittance.
I mean, it's the first step to take on the Silver Tower. Uh, the footsteps, by the way, are they sound like they're getting pretty close to the tree line.
Question: Where, like, particularly where in
Underneath
the
you.
tree line? And
Directly underneath you.
all right,
You can hear them too.
okay.
I look at him. I want you to sit down, and I want you to stay there and think about what you've done. And when I am ready to have a conversation with you again, I will come back. Till then, I want you to count the dust motes in the air.
He pops to the ground and begins looking around at whatever the fuck a dust mote possibly is. And attempts very, very poorly to count them.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna turn around and make finger guns.
Okay.
They're kind of directly beneath me, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with I'm stupid. And how tall is this tree? You said 100 feet.
Yeah, about that. A little bit taller than that. You are about 100 feet up.
Okay. So I want to jump off the tree and land into the ground as hard as I can, particularly aiming if anyone's below me.
This motherfucker about to do this superhero. Man.
Exactly.
Fucking Iron Man over here.
Fucking Iron Man.
Okay. Due to the fact that it's a 100-foot straight goddamn drop, I am going to make you use athletics with your strength.
All right.
Mostly because you're going to have a very difficult time avoiding all the branches as you fall. And the idea of you trying something really heroic and clotheslining yourself on one of those branches so you tumble all the way down is hilarious to me.
So athletics and
Same.
strength. But
And since you have a like an idea of what you're attempting to do, and thus you have put a modicum of thought into this, I will give you a +2 to your ability to pull this off.
all right, let's see. Like I said, I'm aiming for somebody. If I hit the ground hard, at least I'm ruining somebody's day.
Yeah, this motherfucker's gonna ruin somebody's day in China.
All right, 2 modifier.
Yep.
All right.
Did you
Re-roll that.
2 successes only?
It's
With the +2.
watch. This one's gonna be bestial failure, like the dude, like except for 8.
That's much better.
Wow.
Holy shit. Okay, so. Okay, now. Alright. You hit the fucking ground. Like it's not even that you like landed on the ground, it's like you were trying to cause damage to the ground, right?
Yes.
That much goddamn force that you are bringing this down. And there is a part of me that kind of wishes you were using the sniper rifle as a club for this. But
I
that's
thought about
beside the
it.
point. I figured you did, but either way, you fucking like superhero punch your way goddamn down this fucking 100-foot tree to the point where branches, what fucking branches? Those things disintegrated upon your re-entry into the fucking atmosphere. You hit the fucking ground, and the couple of people that were attempting to run down Cole are knocked silly. Like you faintly hear the noise of pinball pins being struck in just how floppy their bodies become. Like it's almost like the physics engine of reality was turned off for a couple of seconds. They ragdoll so fucking hard that one of them gets stuck headfirst into another one of the older trees. You're actually not even 100% sure they're stuck into it or you just obliterated their fucking head. You have moved some of the ground around you. It's like slightly bowed up a couple of inches from the impact crater that you have now caused in this localized fucking extinction event you just attempted. You fucking asshole. Either way, that does reveal that there were 3 attackers, and upon closer inspection, you also recognize them as some of the ghouls from the museum.
I suppose not the one that's in the tree.
Well, I mean, maybe by the shoes.
And I
But
guess
also, now that you're down here, since you are closer to the darkness, as it were, even without your senses, you could see that there are ink webbings connecting some of the trees in the area. And one tendril of ink is going down to one of the ghouls, the one that got impacted into the tree, and is just kind of spreading over their body.
like I don't know what to do with that information. Like I guess I'm just staring at it to see what it's doing.
For right now, it looks like it's being cocooned.
Like that looks oddly familiar. I wonder if they're about to be dragged away by spiders. Yeah, and I guess I look over at Cole.
I'm face palming. I'm face palming and giving a thumbs up at the same time.
Like, all right, and I guess I'm still just turned back to watch because at this point I'm looking around. Are any of them in any motion of trying to get back up, or are they just all out for the count for now?
They're out for the count.
Okay,
The fucking gift.
because I was gonna punch one of them while they're still down.
Oh, you could totally do that.
Only if I see one of them twitch.
One sec. Yeah, the one closest to you twitched. The other one didn't.
All right, I punched the one that twitched.
Strength and melee.
Where's there you are.
There is a cracking and a slurp. They stopped twitching.
Okay, good.
They stopped twitching.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to Corin and Rachel. So Corin, when you're going around exploring, you run into Rachel coming out of the bathrooms,
Yep.
and she says to you like, "Oh, hey, I didn't know you were coming this way too." Anyway, I checked out the gymnasium and the bathrooms, and I didn't see anything. What the fuck is going on over there?
Um, Great question. Came here to find you because there are darker trees. They're shadowy. I'm assuming we have a friend here. Friend-ish, frenemy, I don't know. Um, but I'm assuming there's a lot of nonsense outside, so I guess we should check it out. Do I hear anything like whilst talking to Rachel? Do I hear if anyone is coming up to us, shit like that?
No, actually, funny enough, you hear nothing.
Hmm, that is
Specifically, nothing.
we only heard the commotion and that was it.
Yeah, that's the only noise other than like your own footsteps that you've heard the entire time.
Hmm. It is too quiet here, and that's a little concerning. I take out a dagger, my dagger, and have that ready. Be ready to go deal with whatever idiots our idiots found. Rachel.
Uh, yeah, we probably should check it out. You hear her phone vibrate, and then some footsteps.
Ooh. Yeah, my dagger is unsheathed and ready. I'm ready to attack anyone who comes in.
Okay. You hear a much gruffer voice come from where those footsteps were coming from, which was back from behind the bathroom building.
Yeah.
Hey, little one, but both of you little ones. Grady's on his way here. What are you doing? It is Luca,
Beast Boy?
the yes, Beast Boy.
I don't know. I thought he wanted us to be here for some bullshit. I can see what the bullshit is.
Yeah, he's like coming here right now. I guess this was the actual ambush, and Rachel is just like staring at him, not blinking, mouth kind of slacked open a little bit, kind of like she's saying with her face, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Okay, if this is the actual ambush, our idiots might need help. So I guess we get them and then get the fuck out. I'm gonna message Cammy and ask her to check with the seagulls if there's anyone on our fucking ship. Whatever it is.
Like
Also,
anyone else?
other
Or
kindred, like,
okay.
has it been taken? And then I'm gonna look at Luke again. What the fuck are you doing here, buddy? Don't you work for that motherfucker?
See, thing is, he treats me like shit, and like I'm really only working for him because I owe him. And like, I like Rachel a lot more than I like him, so she's kind of like a little sister to me. So I don't really want anything bad to happen to her, but he's kind of planning on killing her too, so I don't really like that.
I mean, valid. Um, so help us help our idiots and the two wolves that we came with.
Oh, those guys! And he like moves to show off the back of his pants where the left side of his pants were torn off, just a little bit on the butt. Yeah, they were quite aggressive um, until I told them what the fuck was going on.
Good. Where are they at now?
Over there, and he points over to where John, Cammy, and Cole, like their general area, and you can kind of make out inside the tree line two sets of eyeballs looking at him.
Go help our idiots, please. Like,
Are you telling that to Luca?
the dogs.
They're over there already.
Oh shit,
Like
they're okay.
they're just in the tree line on that side, kind of watching over what's been going on.
Okay. Luca, do you know how many fucking ghouls and or other kindred there might be?
There, there's probably at least like 10 total
10
that
total?
that he brought over here. Yeah.
Okay, let's get rid of them real quick and then be on our merry way.
I don't think we're gonna have to wait too long about that. And he points over to roughly where the street is, and there is one person wearing a hooded trench coat, and seven more people that are just kind of wearing like jeans and a hoodie that are not very good at tactically stealthily approaching
Are
the
they
center of the area.
are they friend or foe? Do you know them?
I'm pretty sure that's Grady.
Oh, okay. So we're really fucked.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna text Cammy to have the seagulls do some random shit to distract Grady so we can get out. And then,
Okay.
yep.
And
I
then what is your plan of action? Because I'm gonna go ahead and switch back over to Cammy.
stealthily sneak away from the bathroom and then kill anyone who might try to attack us, the three of us.
Okay, so you're gonna be on deck for assault, and I'm assuming you're gonna be taking the tree line over instead of
Yep.
going directly across.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Swapping back over to Cammy.
All right. So in response to the first text message, I've tried to get some seagull's attention by squawking awkwardly.
About 10 seagulls, including the one that has been speaking to you up until this point, flutter down and they land in like. So the one is in front, and then 3x3 square of seagulls behind it. And all of them salute you.
So with that, I guess I've drawn attention to myself. But since the other people haven't seen me, is my unseen passage still active for in regards to them?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna. I assume that probably it took a moment for that whole exchange, and then get the second message and was like, "Wait, Grady's here," and see if I can figure out what the heck is going on. Can I see these other ghouls and Grady from here?
Considering how fucking poorly they rolled on their stealth check, I'm pretty sure everybody on the island can see them. So yes,
Okay.
even the people in buildings that don't have line of sight can probably see them.
All right. I'm gonna tell the seagulls that we need them to go specifically for Grady in much chaos as they can manage, pooping or scratching or pecking, whatever. And in the meantime, uh, tell Cole and John, Grady's here. We gotta go.
The seagull responds by saying, "We will carry this out. That's not going to be a problem. But I found this, and I think you might want it." And he begins to attempt to throw up. It takes him a few retches, but he finally gets it up, and he vomits out a small trinket onto the ground. And he nods, and they take off.
All right. I will disgustedly grab it.
Okay. Upon inspection, it is it's about 2 inches long. It is a petrified tentacle of a octopus. And while you're holding it, it seems to be dripping black ink,
Mm.
like out of its quote unquote open wound area, like where it was chopped from the actual octopi. And the longer and longer you hold it, the more and more there seems to be kind of a melodic hum at the base of your skull.
Okay.
After a few seconds of just being kind of confused, are you ready to play?
Oh God.
Never, but I don't think I get a choice.
I would like to make a deal. I help you dispose of him, and you don't immediately slash my neck like last time. Or have your platoon eat me.
If I'd known you were still alive, that wouldn't have happened. But I'll do my best. And uh message everyone in our group chat that uh we might have reinforcements. Nobody hurt Liliana.
Quick question.
Huh? Well, for who?
For everyone in general, I guess. Did we make a separate group chat where it's just all of us and Grady not there?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah,
I
I have
I,
been.
we
While
had
you haven't specified it, I've been running off of the assumption that you have created a group chat that is specific to you guys and possibly also Rachel.
I think
yeah, I
Oh,
would have sent it
we
in the one without Rachel just because I wouldn't been thinking about that.
yeah we did create a group chat that didn't include Grady on our first night at the museum. I do remember that.
I don't think that
Just
had
yeah.
everyone because we didn't have everyone's numbers the first time.
Like that's why we created everyone's numbers before we killed Bill Nye. we're like, okay, we need to get in a group chat with us after the whole thing with Bill Nye.
Either way, I have been running off of the assumption that at the very least, the Coterie members specifically had a group chat of just Coterie members.
Fair enough. Okay. Just wanted clarification.
Okay, so and then you also told Cole and John about what exactly?
That Grady's here, and we probably need to be going.
Okay, just making sure. So now it's on Cole and John for your guys' responses and actions.
All right. Has anything more happened with the body inside the tree being wrapped?
Oh yeah, you look at it and there's just kind of like a pool of ink. The body's not there anymore.
Fun. This is like, well, like since I don't say much, my only thought is like, well, I was right. They are here.
And of course, then you get that message from Cammy about, yeah, she is.
Like, and Cammy said that we have reinforcements. Did he mention that she wants to take him out and wants our help at this point instead of getting the fuck out? Basically, did they go with the opposite order after the first text?
Cammy is female, by the way.
Um, I mean, I still think we should get the fuck out of here and let Liliana deal with it, but
She. The reason I asked is because she specifically asked help. The word help was in there. So I guess this goes with what deal you made with her, and did you oppose your own order?
I mean, I'm not actually leaving, but I don't really know what else I can do to help. But
Gray,
I
are you
assume,
talking about the seagulls?
No,
The rats?
Liliana was whispering in the back of his mind,
yeah.
saying, "You help me take care of Grady, and you agree not to kill me." So it's basically how much of that deal did you talk to, and what the second message actually said in response to quote unquote helping her.
The second message was just, we may have reinforcements. Nobody hurt Liliana.
Okay, and I guess in my position, where is Grady? Like,
You guys are on the east side of the tree line. He's on the west.
okay. So I guess I look at that ink splotches, and since I didn't get any info, all I ask is, do you have a plan?
Nope.
What about Cole?
I asked the ink if it has a plan.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking them.
No, I asked the ink.
I got you. So the ink from the puddle specifically, several strands rise up and then form a spider web between them.
Got it. So I unholster my gun and shoot at Grady.
I started blasting.
Exactly.
All right. Firearms and dexterity.
Firearm.
With a +1.
Dexterity 1.
Oh shit.
Jesus Christ.
There's some good rolls tonight.
After that bestial failure, I sure hope so. God damn.
I still succeeded with it.
No, my
Oh, you meant his perception. Never mind.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So, turns out when John was kind of about his ability to use that boomstick, that was a lie. So,
Motherfucker just domed Grady.
not exactly. But, close. Uh, Basically, like, deatomized his entire lower half. So the thing I didn't tell Guri about the ammo that I was giving him is that it's incendiary, and so the way it works is that the impact point explodes upon a certain level of pressure, right? And basically there's a puncture wound, and then it explodes inside the puncture on the way out. A better way to think about it might be like assume that you stuck a shotgun up against the wall and pulled the fucking trigger. It's
So does he just not have legs now?
you basically blew the one of the fucking legs off of Grady and like sent him into the fucking dirt. Like I'm talking like caster shell, fucking outlaw star levels of there was a thigh and then there wasn't a thigh anymore. Just straight up disconnected from his fucking body. This also has another effect in which the other 7 of the ghouls that were with him are now freaked the fuck out because, for all intents and purposes, they're still humans. They're just under the control with like some other slight abilities, but they're really not much better than a normal human in this particular matter. And Liliana takes this particular advantage and begins using her tendrils to trap the other ghouls.
I would also like to use awe.
Okay.
Anyone in the presence of the vampire finds their attention inescapably drawn to them. Those listening to the vampire speaking might suddenly agree on subjects where they once held different viewpoints. While the power doesn't cause rapt infatuation, it is still strong enough to sway the minds of most mortals.
Right.
It is free. Uh, it's manipulation plus presence.
Mm-hmm. Who are you using it on?
The group of them.
Okay. Including Grady?
No, Grady's not
Okay.
included. I want
All
the
right.
mortals to basically just cease.
Sure. Like they're freaking out, trying to escape and all that stuff, and your goal is to get them to stop and accept their fate,
Just,
right?
yeah,
Or at least stop enough that they can be properly restrained by Liliana.
correct.
Okay. Roll it.
How are you getting all these bestial failures?
It's only a possible bestial failure.
Roll it again. Considering the situation, I mean, it's still good-ish.
Dude, what is your hunger at?
2?
Yeah, he doesn't have to rouse for this. Bestial failures is like you have to like actually bestial failure before it counts as increasing hunger. Okay, so it only works on about half of them. There are still a couple of them that are kind of freaking out a little bit and still messing around. So let's say there's 3 of them are still like trying to escape. but the other 4 have just stopped and are paying attention to you. What else you got?
I step down off the stage and start walking towards Grady. I stop about 15 feet from him.
Okay. He is holding his hip and doing the Peter Griffin fucking breathing thing. Like he's that
Sure.
meme. Swearing a little bit. He might even be crying. Oh, actually, additionally, I almost forgot before you do anything else. Let's see here. I want you all, everyone, to roll your awareness and wits.
Is this a perception check?
Yes.
I get to roll it with what is it? Where is it at? The user adds their auspice rating to all perception rolls.
All right, cool. Go ahead.
So awareness and wits +2.
Yes.
Where the fuck is awareness?
Third column, second row.
Modifier is 2?
Yeah.
Oh fuck. That's what I get for laughing at you guys for getting bestial failures.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so, Kimmy and John, the darkness that you have been witnessing this entire time has taken on a subtle shade of green.
Mhm.
For Corin, even the lights and the moonlight itself and the slight amount of fog that you didn't notice before is taking on that tint of green. Cole is apparently colorblind in game too.
That tracks.
Do Luca and Rachel notice it?
Yes.
I look at them like, do you guys see all the green?
Rachel seems not worried, but there's a look of concern on her face, and she whispers, Prince?
Did she just say prince?
Out of character, yes, that is what
The
she said.
the Emerald Prince? Whatever.
Oh, maybe.
Okay. I feel like if she whispered it, I would have heard it because of heightened senses.
Yes, absolutely. All right, back to Cole.
Colorblind motherfucker.
Get to 15 feet from him. Look down. You reach too far, Icarus. You reach too high and too far.
He looks up at you. You're you're gonna start to try and educate me about all of this? Do you really think you've won? Do you think I don't have everything under my thumb just because you blew off my leg? You think you've won this?
No, I don't. But you came at us with ghouls. You're grasping at straws. If you had come at us with something, I don't know, actually somewhat useful, there wouldn't be a person over there counting dust. Now, I get to count the pieces of your limbs scattered all over this field.
Upon finishing that particular golden fucking line, uh, the some of the ink manifests into a female form and holds out a machete to you. And Liliana says, "Here, this will help. I took it off of one of these guys."
How long does it take for the seagulls to get there?
Not fucking long.
Oh no.
I take the machete from Liliana. Now, this is a proper blade. I am going to take an arm.
Okay. Let's see. How? How are you going to take the arm?
Nice single hand strike down at the shoulder socket.
You have enough strength for that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with strength and melee, and he's prone, so +2. Whoa, messily clean. There is just an obnoxious amount of blood pouring out of both the side of his torso, the arm socket, right, and the arm itself. It's like a fucking Freddy Krueger movie kill, just spurting everywhere. And he screams like such a little bitch. Like he's hitting pitches that fucking the Mariners wish they could hit.
Jesus Christ.
Grady,
There, go ahead.
now you have two limbs on the ground. I dare say you will have more by the end of this, but I want you to know this was personal after you came after us. Beforehand, it wasn't. Had nothing really, just you showed too much and were being way too dumb. Now that you've attacked us, now it's personal. And I want to make sure that this hurts.
So when he finally stops screeching for his life, uh, he actually starts to screech for his life. Like, wait, hold on here. I may have made a bit of a mistake here. Maybe I should have, recognized the abilities that you guys have. You've definitely been an immense thorn in my side, so you could be an immense thorn in somebody else's too, right? We we can talk about this.
I kneel down And as I kneel down, I put the machete into his remaining leg's kneecap. Like, just drive it in with both hands.
Okay. He fucking screams. Like, right in your face. You get some blood and some spit on your face.
Oh no, we're past that. You sent your ghouls after us, after we had a working arrangement. This is not proper. Some might say it's not cricket. And it's time for a revolution.
I do want to ask a clarifying question. Do you particularly care what's been happening to the ghouls?
No.
Alright, cool. Because Liliana's been having a little bit of fun, just so you're aware. We'll get to that later once your attention is, not focused. But
I've seen this hentai.
um, however, I'm going to interrupt a little bit further. There is an intense smell of ozone and increased air pressure from behind you and in front of the rest of you. As in the center ceremonial, the center stage, there is a lightning strike in the middle of it and a small thunderclap. And three figures are now standing in the middle of the stage. There is one taller who begins to clap. There is also a woman who looks somewhat similar to Liliana. And there is another woman who is dressed in mostly animal hide and fur. One of the other things that you can make out is that fashioned into her hair, probably like some kind of a headdress type deal, she has ram horns. And the taller male figure, like he starts clapping, like a normal like golf clap, into starting to get to be like a roaring applause. Neither of the other two are clapping. It is also at this point that your colorblind ass notices that shit's green.
Look down at Grady. Well, looks like the guests of honor have arrived. Shall we take you to greet them?
He's just staring up at you now, like he's not, like he's still kind of coughing or whatever, but like his eyes are open wide. There's tears rolling down your face, down his face, probably also your face, considering the projectile coughing that he's been doing upon you. While you've been, meticulously picking him apart. But he's just got a look of sheer fucking terror.
I take the machete out of his knee, grab him by the hair, and just start dragging him.
He's like 1.5 tuft of hair.
Oh, right. He doesn't have hair.
Yeah. Well, that we know of.
Kinda.
Kind of. It was balding.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
All
So
we know is he's
hair,
hung.
scalp, whatever I can grip my fingers into on his head, I'm digging in.
Eye sockets.
Sure.
Fuck.
Motherfucker can be a bowling ball for all. No, I want one good eye.
So
It's not his ears. I want him to hear it.
Grab his shirt or something.
So ring finger, middle finger, up the nostrils, thumb in the eye socket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Gross.
Listen, I am pleasantly fucking surprised. This is just out of character. I am pleasantly fucking surprised. I was waiting for this to be much more drawn out than this. Anyway, please proceed.
Drag him over the stage.
Aren't they in the middle of the field?
No, middle of the stage.
Okay.
So, this is one of your what do you use? What's the word you use here?
Baron.
One of your barons, correct?
He certainly was.
Oh. You know what he's been scheming, right?
Intimately aware.
Oh, good, good. I'm not done systematically taking him apart yet. Can you give me another 20 minutes or so? I have some tendons I'd like to remove.
Oh, please don't let me interrupt.
Oh,
This
good. Thank you.
this is the best show I've had in a very long time. The woman who kind of roughly looks a little bit more like Liliana, not the one wearing fur, looks visibly disgusted, but doesn't like make any outward, like she doesn't look away or anything like that. But she's the only one of the of the three of them that emotes at fucking all, other than the giant shit-eating grin on the prince's face.
I drag him over to one of the picnic tables and just flop him down onto it.
Okay. You're going to systematically dismantle him.
Yes.
Just as I said it, I thought about how one goes about dismantling a human much in the same way they would dismantle like computers. It's just fucking wild. Anyway, okay. So while you're doing that, we're gonna go down the list of everybody else. We're gonna start with Cammy and go down the list to John and then Corin. So Cammy, what are you doing through all of this?
I was just confused about where the seagulls all went. I
They're
told them to go after Grady.
they're since the situation has changed, the parameters of the mission have been altered at this point. They're kind of there's some that have landed and are watching intently. There's a few over by the ghouls that are like taking apart what Liliana's been doing to the ghouls, and then also like nomming on the arm and the leg of Grady. And the vast majority of them, though, are just kind of circling overhead.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna kind of wave some of them over and start heading towards the group. And in the at the stage, and say, "Hey, Cole, that machete's pretty sharp. Are you sure you want to use something so fast?" And indicate the seagulls.
Oh, no, they will have their turn.
All right.
Christ.
Once he has been delimbed, I planned on splitting open his chest and then letting them have a field day with what's inside.
Uh, turn to the seagulls. What do you guys think of that?
As if in unison, you hear about 400 very excited voices start chanting buffet.
And then give a very deep nod to our guests of honor.
The prince himself looks at you. His smirk gets a little bit bigger, and then looks back over at what Cole's doing. John, you're next up.
Yeah. Is the bit of ink that was there still next to me?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of fucking everywhere. If you're specifically talking about that puddle, yes.
Alright. So what I do is just basically put the gun down and take out the gum that somehow has 17 out of 18 gum sticks in it, and unwrap one and offer it to the ink pile.
A bit of ink in the form of a crab claw reaches out of the puddle, takes it, and brings it back into the puddle.
And then I unwrap one for myself and I just watch the show from there.
There is a gum bubble that expands and pops out of the ink.
Nice.
All right, Corn, what are you doing?
How far are me, Luca, and Rachel from this whole debacle?
About 50 feet.
I'll get closer to the stage and then
Okay.
shout. Don't just remove like the larger limbs. Start with the fingers first, and then work your way up.
Oh, I started with the toenails on his good foot, and I'm
Oh,
working my way down to the bone.
does he still have one good eye? Does he have two good eyes? What does it look like right now?
That's up to Cole. I'm not the one viciously mutilating a motherfucker.
I just want to throw a dagger at one of his eyes. Or not a dagger, a throwing knife.
Target practice.
Yep. And if I miss, I'm just gonna keep aiming for him.
Oh, actually, could you pin his shoulders down for me?
Okay.
He's squirming a lot. I'm slipping and I just like slip with the machete a little bit and flay a little bit more flesh than I mean to.
I don't think the throwing knives are big enough for that.
I'm
But
gonna, I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt that one in the gooch.
um
That was uncomfortable.
I'm gonna just walk up, grab a there were multiple, right? The ghouls also had some.
Oh yeah, no, there's quite a bit of weaponry.
I grabbed two of the machetes and just pierce it into his shoulders, I guess.
Okay.
Is there a tree near them?
No, they're in the center,
God damn it.
like roughly the center.
I'm gonna walk away a little bit and then just throw a dagger. I don't care, or a throwing knife. I don't care where it hits, as long as it hits Grady.
Okay. That is going to be technically it's ranged melee, so we'll go with melee and dexterity. And since he's prone and pinned, +2.
I will laugh if I miss.
So uh, he has both his eyes, right? Or did you actually take like what are the status of his eyeballs?
I would have just taken both fingers up his nose and put the thumb on the forehead as I drug him
Okay.
over.
Okay. So you throw your knife, right?
Yep.
And the closest eye to you, we'll say it's the right eye, right?
Yeah.
You stick him in the fucking eye. So fucking precisely that as he's screaming and looking around, the knife is also flopping around because it's in his eye.
Bad. I just continue walking towards the stage and just lean against it.
Okay,
Wave.
that's the one that makes me cringe.
Right? Listen, if you guys are gonna bring the smoke, I'm gonna bring the fucking smoke. Like, I made you kill a fucking childhood idol, all right? Like, I'm not above any of this shit.
He's not a real childhood hero. It was a changeling.
Same difference.
We did not know that at the time.
We didn't.
When I get up to the knee, I'm going to take the entire like knee to hip off at once.
I'm starting to feel like you're having too much fun.
Maybe. Once I've got that severed, I'm just gonna give a whistle like I'm calling Lapis and or I am calling Lapis and Lazuli, but I'm just whistling them like puppies.
They are at the side of the table with untold amounts of hunger in their eyes.
Can you sit?
They both sit.
I
They
toss
start.
the thigh, bone, meat, and all just up in the air.
It's like the beginning of basketball when they go to slap the ball to their team, and instead so Lapis gets up there first and grabs onto it, and Lazuli kind of grabs onto it and Lapis. And when they get down to the ground, they start having like a tug of war of who gets it. Lazuli ends up getting the bone and starts gnawing on it, while Lapis gets the rest of the meat. And their tails are just going. Like if you step near their fucking tail, they might cause bruises.
I'm gonna reach up to Grady's head, spin it towards his thigh that's being devoured. You see that? You see that, Grady? That's another one of your limbs. I told you I was going to count your limbs on this field. That's another one.
This terrifying, Clinton.
I've been waiting for this for so long. But I am going to fast forward a little bit, assuming you're going to go into meticulous detail about how you're going to dismantle this guy.
Basically, take the arm, give that to the dogs as well. It's slow and methodical up the arm until I get to the last joint where from shoulder to elbow, because that's a nice chunk of meat that I want them to be able to have and enjoy. Then just crack open the ribs like it's a crab on Memorial Day, and let the seagulls go to town.
Okay. Sounds delicious.
Disgusting.
Indeed. Okay, so also at this point, Liliana has completely rematerialized. She's not just an ink beast, but she has resumed her normal form. Her ink tendrils are still kind of going around and making sure that the seagulls have a good enough buffet in the various areas with where the two areas where the ghouls were, while taking a few bodies of her own. And she is still kind of standing like a little bit away from the group, but close enough that if she were to speak, everybody would be able to hear her clearly. And upon you completing your mission, and you are now covered in viscera, the prince offers a few golf claps yet again. Very well done. I dare say I don't think I would have been able to do as good a job since I was but a boy. What what prompted this reaction? I figured that after speaking with Rosa and Dimitri that you would be rather peeved about uh, Grady's extremely sadly obvious betrayal of not only you, but of me. But to get so detailed, why?
You don't come after the coterie without expecting retaliation. He made it personal. I got personal.
A real team player. I appreciate it. It appeals to my sensibilities. Write that down. He motions over to uh, the one lady that's not wearing the. She's wearing a green dress. I'm gonna address her as green dress lady for now. Um, so green dress lady pulls out a pocketbook and begins scribbling. It's probably fucking uh, chicken scratch, but either way. Well, what what exactly can I do to repay this rather intricate display?
I'm assuming he's still talking to Cole.
Yes, ish. The way he carries himself is that he's kind of talking to everybody, specifically Cole, but also nobody. To give a proper understanding of what he looks like too, because I realized I didn't actually give that particular description. He is an incredibly tall man. He's pushing about 7'8", like real fucking tall. Um, he is wearing a extremely dark green suit, which you like to the point where it looks black unless you look at it from a certain point of view, and then you can see that it's actually green. Um, he has a very well kept uh, mane of hair that's a little above shoulder length, with a sharp goatee that ends in a point, and a kind of like a what's it called? The fucking actor I'm thinking of, Selleck, Tom Selleck. A kind of like fucking like bushy, solid mustache.
I think I know
Yeah,
what you're
that
talking
Tom
about.
Selleck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that paired with a sharp point to a point goatee, and his hair is just your standard normal brown that you'd expect from some white guy from the fucking 1700s, 1800s. I don't remember when he was fucking born. Hold on. 1800s, early 1800s. Anyway, so yeah, he's like technically talking to Cole, but his attention seems to be like specific, vague, and then and also not at all. Almost like he's not completely here.
I personally would like our coterie to remain control of the museum, retain control of the museum. You can split up the rest of the land. We can be in whoever's territory you want. That doesn't bother me. Or I think we've got a very viable replacement for Grady, and I point towards Rachel. Her father, from what I understand, was a very loyal sheriff, deputy,
Sheriff.
sheriff, and I believe she would do very well in this role. I personally would just like to see us remain in charge of the museum.
Rachel looks like a deer in headlights. Just as a note. Hmm. Well, since you're a team player and the rest of your team is here, I'm willing to entertain this as long as there's support, since there is a power vacuum. And to be perfectly honest with you, just willy nilly giving territory that isn't earned to the other barons, eh, they get a little up their own ass about that kind of thing. So I'd rather keep them on somewhat of a leash. So I think that one of you filling the role of Baron for that area, and maybe some territory discussion can happen later, I think is the best course of action. I will absolutely honor your retention of the museum, just so we're clear about that. But as for who assumes the territory, yeah, Baron does need to take that over for sure.
Well, I personally think that Rachel has been a part of this group long enough that I feel that she is, if not a member, an honorary member of the coterie. And harm that comes to her is just as bad as harm that comes to one of them in my mind. So, allowing her to take the role gives you a familiar familial person that you already know and trust, and allows us to work with them and not have to fight amongst ourselves over who gets a title.
Well, are you? What say the rest of you?
I'm gonna walk up behind. I'm gonna walk up to Cole and kind of like pinch the back of his neck and whisper, "Do you see Rachel right now, you dumbass?"
Would you rather me have given it to Liliana?
You're asking someone to be in a position of power that got her father killed and may or may not be prepared for this kind of job,
Are any of
mentally
us?
or emotionally. Well,
I just dissected some dude on a table. You have put enough paint in someone's bed to cause even a vampire blood poisoning. That motherfucker over there, I'm pretty sure has dislocated so many kneecaps with that rifle that I'm not entirely positive that he didn't just accidentally blow Grady's leg off. And if we give it to Cammy, well, I don't think Cammy trusts herself with that kind of responsibility,
we would have
given the
surveillance
warning
with
that
intelligence.
Cammy gave about Nosferatu to start with.
Fair enough. I'm going to signal for Rachel to come to our little huddle.
I look back to the prince. Can you give us just a second?
Of course, take all the time you need.
Thanks.
Although I do want to cut in, and now that I think about it, I think I would have preferred if instead of John firing the rifle, he just spear chucked it really fucking hard.
That would have been so
Right?
funny. Don't use it as a firearm. Just use it as like a spear.
Like that would have been better, but honestly, him actually using it this one time and just eviscerating someone because he had no idea that there were incendiary rounds was just as good, honestly.
And honestly, I had thought about using it as a club when I came down, but I was like, no, I don't want to break it just in case there's more around and I have to shoot them.
All right. Rachel approaches, and she still looks a little caught off guard, but she's composed herself.
How do you feel about this? Because you've been voluntold? Not voluntold yet, but you've been volunteered.
She looks down. Luca also came up, and Luca places his hand on her shoulder and tells her, "If you lead, I'll follow." She looks back up, and she's got that look in her eye. The last time she had this look in her eye that stopped Liliana in her tracks and ended a portion of her life. Very similar, in effect. Says, "No, I can do this. I can at the very least do better than him."
She pointing to the destroyed body of Grady.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Know that the coterie will be with you as well if you need us. But I guess we tell the prince that you are fine with becoming Baron for what section again, Shaw?
Uh, it is. There's no like actual proper name for that particular area,
District.
but it's all of Grady's area. It includes like the docks and shit like that.
And maybe you can give a name to the fucking area you're in charge of, because clearly no one has.
Yeah, I'll figure something out for that.
Yeah, I'm fine with you being the Baron as long as you're fine with it.
Okay. She turns to the prince and says, "I accept. I accept the offer and the responsibility of becoming Baron and taking over the currently unoccupied territories. And then I will meet with the rest of the barons at a later date to discuss any outstanding issues there might be with those territories." So the prince turns to the woman who is wearing the animal hide and the fur. Says, "Well, while I can just supersede everyone, having a fellow baron vouch is also a good thing. What do you say?" And she speaks and says, "I don't see a problem with it yet. I'm very interested to see how she will contend with Dimitri and the bitch."
Bitch.
Back to the prince. "Okay, hostile as always. Granted, you are now the baron of whatever you wish to call your area. The coterie, you will retain access to your museum, of which I hear tell that you are turning into a business, which definitely appeals to my sensibilities. So I highly encourage you continue in this particular format. Unless there are any other outstanding issues that need to be resolved. Oh, actually, there is one more that needs to be taken care of. And he turns and looks at Liliana. What are we to do with you?
I reach over, put an arm around Liliana.
Is she near
She's with
us?
us.
Yep, she is near
Perfect.
you. Oh,
How does a
after
room look?
after everything that's gone on? If she's with you, how does your new Baron feel about this?
They already went to fisticuffs. She's ripped her apart. I and fed her to seagulls. Well, I'm sure there might still be some animosity that they will eventually get around to settling. I would like to think that her part in helping us and uncovering why what happened to the previous sheriff happened is much more illuminating than going after the bullet instead of the hand that shot the bullet. Because out of character, if I remember correctly, Grady paid her to take out her father. Am I remembering that right?
There was a transaction for that action, yes.
Okay. Knowing that the hand that shot the bullet is sitting over there, the bullet was just a recipient of money, albeit the hammer.
The entire
Are
time
any
Cole
of us really to blame for what we do when we're paid to do something? We're trying to make ends meet.
What was that, Lana?
every time Cole says something, she is rolling her eyes and shaking her head because he talks over the person that probably should talk. And she's just like, "Oh my god, at least ask Rachel for her opinion before you sign up for say, "Yep, that's fine. Yep, that's fine." So she's like rolling her eyes and just like really just shaking her head at this entire thing.
I mean, I agree with you, but that's also like 100% what a Brit would do.
Yeah.
Like historically too. Like so, I'm fine with it for now. Rachel is going to say her piece, but anyway, please continue.
That was it. I was
Okay, cool.
that was where I was done.
So the prince, redirects his gaze over to Rachel. Like, I beat this horse ass once. I can do it again to keep her in line. And with that, the prince nods. All right. I believe that's everything. Is there anything else? Otherwise, I have engagements to get onto. After he says that, the his like secretary chick in the green dress kind of like nudges him with her elbow and kind of a like shut the fuck up kind of deal. So this is your guys' opportunity. If there's anything you want to ask the prince, this is it for a while.
Question. Is the lady in the green dress the one that looks like Liliana, or is the one the animal hide and fur the one that looks like Liliana?
The green dress is the one that kind of sort of resembles Liliana.
Would we recognize these two ladies?
What do you mean?
Like, would we know who they are?
No. like, well, okay, specifically, the girl in the green dress. The only connection you draw is that hey, she looks similar to Liliana. The animal hide woman, you've not seen in any way nor heard of in any way up until this point.
I don't know how to talk to this fucking prince. We're happy to be of service. Could you introduce the people that are with you? Because we're clearly we get ourselves into trouble, and it's good to know everyone we meet.
Ah, why, of course. This is my secretary, assistant. Her name's Mia. Uh, she only answers to me. Her position doesn't necessarily hold power in the hierarchy necessarily, but she does occasionally act as my voice, as it were. And this is Miss Sylvia White. She is the Baron of the East Side. So I'm going to post small bit of information about Sylvia in the overview. And then read it out because that's just what I'm going to do. So she is the uh, Baron of the East Side. Her name is Sylvia White. She is a gangrel, specifically a directive of the board style of gangrel, most similar to how a Ventru operates. They're a gangrel with a mission. They're very organized with their anger. They're kind of like how would you put it? Like an anarchist with a plan. So very a little bit more two faced than the Joker, as it were. She wears a lot of animal hide and fur. She has a bunch of different styles that she wears depending on the time of year and where she's going, that sort of thing. She's very connected to nature. Her entire portion of the Gangrel clan is like that as well. Um, the notable feature being that her eyes are very similar to how a goat's eyes are, instead of a normal human like pupil, is another indication of her connection to nature. And the ram horns that you had seen before, now that you have a closer look, are actually just hairstylings. So she doesn't actually have ram horns, it's just that's how she wears her hair.
Hmm.
Oh, nice to meet you both. I don't know. Do any of us have questions?
Yeah, would I've seen their face before, say in an office? Maybe a picture hanging on a wall.
Yeah, possible.
Bess, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Do you have any further questions, Cole?
No.
Okay. On that note, the prince thanks you for your service, wishes you well, and with a snap of his fingers, the lightning hits again, there's a thunderclap, and they're gone. No more green tint to anything. And it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. So Rachel seems quite exhausted and a little exasperated, but suggests that everybody meet back at the museum. On the way back, she talks about how she thinks she wants to make the museum the seat of her barony, and how she really likes the idea of uh, turning it into a more functional business in addition to an attraction. And so we will now proceed back to the museum. Is there any final conversations? Actually, one little more aside. Once you guys do actually get back to the museum, Liliana starts exploring basically now that she's not under threat of being assaulted. But she kind of like starts going through the upper levels of the museum. So now that you guys are back in the main hall of the museum, I am fast forwarding you. I apologize. I'm taking away some of your agency. Uh, is there any like last minute conversations you guys want to have?
No.
No, I'm good.
Yeah,
Now my question was gonna be where Liliana went, if she stuck with us or she fucked off, and now I know. So that was my question.
John Corin?
oh, I barely talk as is, so I just head down to my little area that is prepped for me and just go through my supplies and organize and look
Okay.
closer at the bullets.
Fucking right. I am gonna hold you off from doing that just yet. Like that'll obviously be the thing you do after this. But what about Corin first?
I would shout thanks for the plushie in whatever direction Liliana went, and then ask if a ghoul could drop me back to my condo.
Absolutely can.
If there's enough time, at least, because if there's not enough time for us to like get there before daylight.
I actually have a question about
There's
that.
definitely enough time for you to get back.
Okay. Yeah.
What's your question, Greg?
Um, I guess how much of the ghouls are left? Because weren't the ghouls pretty much the servant of Grady, and I guess whose ghouls are in there now?
So, fun fact: there aren't any.
Oh, fun.
It's empty. So that's going to be a topic in the beginning of the next chapter.
Yeah, that's why I was asking because who's gonna be driving
I
Corin
contact
home?
my sire and ask her to bring a ghoul to pick me up.
Alright. Yeah.
All right, you'll have that covered. Not a problem. Okay. So the last thing, a playing card
Oh God.
falls from the ceiling. I have posted the images and the note written upon it in the in-character chat. Uh, the symbol is on the front, and the card back is the card back.
Have we seen this card back before?
Yep, that's from Liliana. The writing is also Liliana's. And the card says, "They are watching us. They will be here soon."
Mm, before I leave, then, can I do premonition to see who she might be talking about?
You don't need to go that far.
Okay.
The symbol that is on the front of that card is Clan La Sombra.
Fuck. I was worried.
Welcome to the end of Chapter 1. As I said before, I currently have it written out into 3 chapters. However, with a lot of the stuff that's been going on, especially over the past few sessions, and then like also figuring out who the new Baron is and all of that stuff and getting all that taken care of, it is going to take me a little while to flesh out the beginning story points of Chapter 2. Chapter 2, I'm not intending to start up until late January to early February at the soonest. It might be a little bit longer than that, but that's mostly to give pretty much everybody some time to recover, me to actually write things, and also to engage with the holidays. However much you want to do that. Plus, there's other games going on too, and taking a little bit of a break and having some Saturdays back is good for everybody's mental health when it comes down to it. So that's my current plan. I am also going to yet again post that I'm accepting applicants for it. All four of you absolutely have a buy into the next chapter if you want to continue to participate. If you don't want to participate, also completely fine. Not forcing anybody's hand. But the way I write these things are in a way that I can sub people out to fill other roles. So it's not like, don't feel pressured in needing to come back for chapter two. But I will likely be opening it up, assuming all four of you guys are going to retain your positions within the coterie as it is. I'll open it up to two, maybe three other people, just to have that buffer of, if somebody needs to fuck off, because like we discussed in the last session that Guri wasn't here for because he was asleep, is that if we go below four people, it's not really meaningful. So I would like to have a few extra people, and I felt like six was running pretty okay, but we could probably also have a seventh and be running pretty well as well. So that's my side of the plan going forward. What I also would like to say is, because I say this all the fucking time, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for engaging with this as long as you guys have. I hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun writing this stuff. I had a lot of fun compensating for your fuckery. I had a lot of fun putting together the beginnings of this Rube Goldberg machine. And I really hope that you guys at least enjoyed it half as much as I did.
No, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that none of us fucking died.
So am I.
I'm amused that it took me the entire first chapter to actually bust out a vampire power.
I was using Eyes of the Beast a decent amount.
I haven't used any of my actual kindred powers until tonight.
For disciplines?
Yeah.
You have.
I haven't touched one.
Oh.
I think I probably used mine the most.
But
I
Sean,
use guidance sense a lot.
as soon as you said, I saw a familiar blackness at the bottom of the forest. Like, oh, I am jumping off of this tree and smashing the ground and running if I have to. That was the moment
That
I
was
just
pretty fucking good.
I really wanted to have that loser's moment with you where I just shot somebody and you just domed them, but you ruined it and made it better, so I'm down.
like
failing successfully.
right. Like, well, he said they're right below me. It's a pretty awkward angle with a rifle to aim down. Fuck it, let's go.
I mean, it's been a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
Oh, other question. I asked about this last week. Do we get some like level up or something?
Yeah. So everybody that carries over into the next chapter is going to quote unquote level up. I need to dig into the specifics of how I want to operate that, because you guys did do a shitload of things, but also the way Vampire works is that it doesn't really need to level up all that much. But aside from that, like, it's cool to get additional abilities, and you're going to need them because, like, you can kind of effectively look at chapter one as being the tutorial.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a lot of this time, especially since we had some significant gaps in there, to allow for easing into certain aspects. So, like, for example, one of the things you guys that I referenced just a few minutes ago is that you're going to have to figure out your wool problem. Because, like, well, it's nice that Lana has a sire who is, functionally fucking rich and can offer up tools, that's not really a courtesy that's necessarily afforded to Cole, Cammy, or John, right? So that's a problem that's going to need to be tackled. The other thing is the importance of territories is also going to come into play, and that's going to lead to greater conflicts, where you're more than most likely going to need to use not just like your inventive powers, like what Cammy is able to do with, communicating with the seagulls. Because I mean, just that in and of itself is an incredibly intricate, thing to command an entire fucking platoon of seagulls. No, I did not wake up this morning and think I was going to say that sentence. But um, for example, the power of using awe uh, that Cole employed is something that's probably going to come up more often, and some of the other abilities are going to have bigger effects because, like, sense the unseen and heightened senses and shit like that can be used for a lot more than just what you guys have used. So the plan is that there's going to be a bit more intricacy going into the next chapter. So there absolutely will be some level of power up. I've just not arrived at a conclusion for that just yet.
Okay, just
Okay.
wanted to check because it would be great to get more skills and shit.
Right. The other thing too is like that vampire doesn't really support the concept of like magical items,
Yeah.
like you would find in Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder. It really is just about you and your clan abilities and shit like that, and how you guys operate together. So that does allow you to achieve a lot more working together with a lot less abilities individually. But there's also, like, I'm absolutely not going to deny that there's way more versatility in you guys having more abilities to do more interesting shit.
Cool, cool.
I do need to be wrapping things up, but it's been
Okay.
awesome,
Yeah.
and I look forward to part two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys will
Thank-
absolutely be the first to know. And again, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. I have had a lot of fun myself. Dreading how you're going to fuck up my storytelling, but fun nonetheless.
Oh, I wasn't expecting to blow off a leg. Like, yeah, me
Later.
neither. Later.
Bye,
Bye. Have a good
guys.
night.
Night. I did not start today expecting to A, dismember someone, and B, actually use any of my powers.
I feel like you unlocked a kink.
Yeah, I really wanted to shout as well. Like, did you lose your Britishness? Where's your accent, motherfucker?
uh,
I
Because you
know
just
that
wasn't.
I personally don't do the accent well, so it's one of those when I want to actually portray the seriousness of it, I just don't bother because it just takes away from the moment of what I am trying to do. And I leave it to you guys to remember that Cole is very British.
Should go practice for the rest of the the time, the break. You got 2 months. Go. Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun, Shaw. A lot of nonsense. Uh, and failing successfully, I would say, is our group.
yeah.
So much successful failure.
Oh, I originally thought when the ink blot did the spider web that I was gonna have to pull them into where I saw the lines, but no, I just kneecap a motherfucker, and they're just like, well, that works too.
There was a moment to fail successfully. We'd got
Oh
it.
no, that was perfect because like I was expecting to like okay, I've already played my hand. I've got like I'm now at the point where yeah, no. The gloves are off. The actual full-blown weight of Cole's stardom and how he uses his powers is coming to bear. And I planned on just having a blast with the charisma and manipulation skills. And then it was just like, oh, no, now we get to see Cole actually be a proper British thug. Nice.
Oh yeah, no, dude, for sure. Like that was some pretty fucking seriously like character development of the other side of Cole, like the danger, right? Because he's just been like this punk ass Brit this entire fucking time, and then there was that was like the difference between dude love and man fucking kind, like absolute polar opposite kind of motherfucker, but still in line with what was kind of expected. Pretty fucking cool in my opinion.
I agree. I had fun.
Oh, that's the name of the next chapter.
Yes.
See.
Yeah, it makes sense with Seattle. Swallowed sunlight. It's still winter.
There is going to be a little bit of a time jump as well because you guys are going to have to establish some things. So I think what I'm actually going to do is like for the ghoul problem specifically, I think I'm going to have that handled outside of session.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a couple of things that I want to get handled outside of session. Like one of the things I was thinking about floating by Guri is um, since he has the connections to the defense company, of like getting a small outfit to basically be under his employ inside the museum. Like during the day, they act as security, but then when you guys are actually going on operations, you'll actually have a security detail kind of thing. But obviously, that's something that Guri needs to approve of, right?
Yeah, but like I said, it is technically a personal quote unquote security company.
Right.
So in real life, these are also the shady people that fucking have that are hired as private military.
Be right back.
Gary works for the Pinkertons.
That's kind of what I assume this entire time. Basically, is that he has his own outfit, Pinkertons.
But because you've met one person that's working for the company, Randy, the one that Lana roasted the fuck out of.
Oh yeah, no, he's coming back. By the way, like I'm not letting go of that guy.
The one who I nearly killed.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen again.
Like, no. See,
I actually want that to be the running joke is every time Randy comes to help us or drop something off for us, he almost nearly dies and he's just like, what the fuck is with it with you guys? Every time.
well, the first time I did it to save him because he's like, yeah, I'm prepared to fight. Okay, no, I'm not. But I'm gonna get some food. Try. I assume you could do the same. You want to link back up in like hour-ish, hour and a half.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Like I'm kind of at a weird point where I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to pass out or if I'm going to be awake for the next 10 hours.
Yeah. I
So
dropped right after you guys left. I was up for an hour after that, and I was like, for some reason, it's hitting me now. Okay.
yeah.
Dude, I'm actually so
back.
hype after that game that that was hype. That's hype as shit.
But yeah. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit if you happen to swing around. I'll probably be doing some random shit, maybe PSO2 dailies. But
All right. Well, just in case I don't see you a little bit later, have a good night, Gary.
good
Night,
night.
Gary.
Night. All right, now for you guys. Now for you assholes. No, anyone who managed. Yeah, that was a fun session for sure. Let's see. I'm trying to order of operations. Do I want to raid someone? Like, I want to raid someone at the same time. I don't, mostly because, like I said, I'm going to grab something to eat, but I do plan to come right back with something unknown. At the moment, but I do want to, try to build community. But again, it's at that point since it's so fast, it doesn't feel like right to do it. Like I am trying to manipulate them, which honestly, yes, but no. Like I am trying to get in their good graces, but not to the point where it seems standoffish. Because I would like to work with other people, and to work with other people, you need slight charisma, or like a slight what the fuck is it? Rapport with them. I guess is the closest word I can think of. So yeah, that's why I don't want to raid, but want to raid just to get my name, keep my name in their head at the same time. It's a weird in between that you have to balance. Like because I do want to work with a few people, like even if it's just every now and then. You've been seeing Luda coming into my streams every so often. That you know that's kind of the end goal. Someone I can work with every so often. Someone that I'm willing to go into their streams and just be a part of their streams. That we don't have to be streaming at the same time, but we, I can just they can call me at any point that I have free time and be like, yeah, I'm down. I'll come, do this with you. But anyway, enough of all that. Is thank you guys so much for watching, lurking, all that good stuff. If you guys are here on the archive or on YouTube, thank you for watching as well. If you like what you saw, do consider leaving a follow to be notified when there are more videos. If you want to catch me live, like you said, late January, early February is where we're going to pick this up. I am currently not in another Saturday game. We'll see how that changes. I actually need to talk to them about that. Like, yeah, it's a little thing, but um, basically, when these do start up again, or whenever I do tabletop games, it's mostly Saturdays around 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Um, is the start, but for my normal schedule, for games is I start up around 8 to 10 p.m. Mountain Time, and go roughly to around 4 a.m. With the big with the band with the main games right now being Cuisinier on the weekdays, and on the weekends is Dragon Quest Heroes. Those normally start around midnight to 1 a.m. I do want to play some more Cuisinier, but at the same time, I'm set up for Dragon Quest Heroes. I honestly like these two games right now. But anyway, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you all later. Bye bye.